incredible attack on Pearl Harbor, as told from both the United States and Japanese sides. Once two nations made war. Today they have collaborated to make a motion picture of unequaled magnitude and importance, recreating the actual events leading up to the day that changed the course of history.
Tora, Tora, Tora was a Pearl Harbor film made in 1970. It is considered one of the most historically accurate World War II films of all time and gave so much real historical information that many believe it to be a documentary rather than a movie. There is no backdrop love story, Bellers and Arms theme, or even a single fictional scene. The movie is named after the code word Tora that the Japanese used in their attack of Pearl Harbor. That was an acronym. There are no events depicted which did not actually take place. No words placed in anyone's mouth which are not either backed up by documentation or at least representative of the type of thing that this person must have been saying. Every character and every event portrayed were real.
Colonel, sir, if we do spot something, what do we do?
Report it to headquarters, damn it.
How, sir? We haven't got a telephone, sir.
There's a gasoline station about a mile down the road. They must have a phone.
The main contributing factor to the realism of this movie would be that this movie was done alongside Japanese producers who gave important insight and information on the actual Pearl Harbor. However, there were some minor inaccuracies, which mainly were unavoidable when trying to recreate Pearl Harbor. Parts of the film show the takeoff of the Japanese aircraft utilize an Essex-class aircraft carrier, USS Yorktown, which was commissioned in 1943 and modernized after the war to have an angled flight deck. The ship was leased by the film producers who needed an aircraft carrier for the film. It was used largely in the takeoff sequence of the Japanese attack aircraft. This sequence shows interchanging shots of models of the Japanese aircraft carriers in the Yorktown. It does not look like any of the Japanese carriers involved in the attack due to its large bridge island and its angled landing deck. The Japanese carriers had small bridge islands and angled flight. Also, all the Japanese aircraft in the footage bear the markings of Akagi's aircraft, a single vertical red stripe following the red sun symbol of Japan, even though 5 other aircraft carriers participated, each having its own marking. In one of the fighting scenes over Oahu, you can see a small cross on one of the mountainsides. However, the cross was actually not built until after the attack as a memorial to the victims of the attack. There are 2 major falsifications in this movie, both on behalf of the Japanese production team. The first would be that the Japanese producers insisted that before the attack, Japan sent a legitimate declaration of war before the attack on Pearl Harbor. However, we know this is not true. Even after the painful task of decoding the 14-page message from Japan, there was no declaration of war, just a summary of grievances. The other falsification is that the Japanese producers made it seem as if though Emperor Hirohito did not want to go to war but was forced to, even that he was a benign figurehead commander. In a supposed conversation between Prime Minister Kyoto and Commander Yamamoto, Kyoto states that Hirohito's signature is merely a formality. However, that conversation never happened, and also, Hirohito had the ability to override any decisions made by those below him.
Here's a message to the Commanding General of Fort Shafter. Is it marked urgent? No?
Although this movie has its inaccuracies, it's impossible not to when equipment you need, such as Japanese World War II aircraft carriers, have been scrapped or out of use for years. In the big picture, the actual attack of Pearl Harbor and events leading up to it were spot on, with hardly any discrepancies. There was finger pointing as to who was going to be attacked, and during the battle, Oahu was even attacked from the right direction.